Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the top 10 best point guards in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Haven't done positional rankings in a few weeks, so it's a good time to do an updated list with a bunch of new cards haven't come out at a lot of these positions. And before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm uploading every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So number 10 is going to be Pink Diamond Magic Johnson. Magic is the tallest point guard on this list at 6'9", but his jumper is pretty mediocre and his movement is not great. That is the limitation of this card. Now, I get that his defensive badges are not great, but here's my honest truth. You upgrade the shooting badges and you add things like Immovable Enforcer, Interceptor, Off-Ball Pest, On-Ball Menace, and then a fifth badge, which could be Glove, Challenger, Paint Patroller, one of the shooting badges if you want. Whatever the case may be, an upgraded badged Magic provides really good valuable defense because of the switchability and size at 6'9", and then also his size offensively is valuable as a screener to attack mismatches, all that type of stuff. He creates mismatches on offense and prevents them on defense, and I think that's the most valuable thing about Magic Johnson and the reason that he is a top 10 point guard despite not having great movement and not having a great jump shot. Number 9 is going to be James Harden, who is only 6'5". I mean, I say only, that's not bad. He's really nice offensively in terms of having an elite jumper, but the problem with the card is, yes, he's got great playmaking badges, but his SIGs aren't great. That's my biggest criticism of Harden. Elite jump shot, good slasher. Defensively, he's not great, though. He needs badges upgraded and added and things of that nature. But once he has those, I mean, he's got enough size where he's a decent defensive point guard. The problem with him really is, though, I would be much higher on him as an overall card if he had better movement, because that would separate him from most of the other point guards in the game who aren't really great shot creators. But he doesn't. And so with that being said, it limits him a little bit more offensively than you would like for James Harden. And that's why he's only number 9 on this list. Number 8 is my current backup point guard, which is Alex Caruso. This card is actually very good. A 6'5" PG. Now he's gone up in price 100%. He was like 50K a week ago. Now he's up over 100K, I do believe. I don't even think he's a buyout anymore. But he's really good. I'm glad I bought him when I did, because a card who kind of does everything well. He's a very good slasher. He's got a fast release. And actually, I'm looking, he's right at a buyout right now. He's 100K, but he's really good defensively. That's the value of this card to me, is the size, the defense, the slashing, the speed is solid. 85 3 ball isn't like insane, but he's got a pretty smooth jumper. He hits open consistently, which is all I really need him to do. Now, I get that his SIGs aren't great, but I'm not that concerned about that, to be totally honest. His release is quick enough, his slashing is good enough, and his defense is valuable enough where it does overcome elite level movement. And I really do think he's better than Harden overall. That's no joke. I truly would rather have him than Harden because of his defensive value, putting him at number 8. Number 7 is Dyson Daniels, 6'7" PG, one of the tallest point guards in the game, and an elite defender in his own right. 85 interior, low block rating, but elite perimeter badges and amazing hoffs. Now, the one thing he needs handles for days and lightning launch and shooting badges like limitless range, deadeye, shifty, things like that. 85 3 ball, 80 driving dunk. He's not like an incredible offensive card. He doesn't have elite level slashing. His SIGs aren't top tier, but his jumper is very fast. Similarly to Caruso, he's super good defensively, and his size is super valuable as well. Also a super smooth, great jump shot, like I said. Really think Dyson Daniels is still a top tier point guard, and just like Caruso, can play at a very competitive level. Every card on this list can be a competitive level point guard for sure. Number 6 is Devin Booker. D Book is 6'6", doesn't have the biggest player, but let's say he looks closer to 6'5" maybe. But elite shooting, elite playmaking, top tier fade, actually has pretty solid movement as well compared to most of the other cards at the point guard position. Defensively, he's not exceptional, but at least he's got some solid low base badges on silver, which helps for the amount of badge slots that he has. And you can add things like Interceptor, Brick Wall, Immovable, Paint Patroller, stuff like that if you want to. Obviously, a posterizer wouldn't hurt as well, but mainly what this card provides is elite level shooting. Again, pretty good size, really good release, solid movement. Still a great offensive card, one of the best offensive PGs in the game without a shadow of a doubt. I do think the defense is a little bit underwhelming compared to most of the other cards in this list, especially from Caruso and up, but I do think he's still a very good card, and I don't mind him as a borderline top 5 guy. You could argue him higher than that if you wanted to. Sidney Moncrief at number 5 is all defense. Does not have a super high 3 ball. That's my biggest probably criticism of this card, is the low 3 ball rating, because his jumper's super smooth. He's got a great fade. He's got super great speed, and he's an elite defender. And honestly, he's a pretty darn good slasher as well. 85 driving dunk, not bad. My issue with this card is the fact that his shooting isn't super duper high. So not a super high 3 ball makes his fade harder to green, makes his shot harder to green with consistency, especially on contests. It's a little bit annoying. It's not a deal breaker at all. He's still an amazing point guard. He's got incredible badges. but he is, I think, probably fairly listed as the number 5 PG in the game because of that low 3-ball. Also, he's only 6'4", which isn't tiny, but it's not like ideal. Drew Holiday is a 6'5" version of Sidney Moncrief, not quite the slasher Moncrief is. He provides very similar defensive ability, and he does have a higher 3-ball, which I think is really nice. I think the main reason that I have him over Sidney, to be honest, is the higher 3-ball. He's an inch taller. He's not quite as good of a slasher. Defensively, he's very similar. He's an elite card, though. I think Drew is really good as pretty much any point guard in my team. Honestly, I wish I had bought him when he first dropped, like I did Caruso, because I could have gotten him for a lot cheaper than he is nowadays. And he's expensive for good reason. He is an elite point guard who can play at the very highest level and is able to guard and compete with any point guard in my team. Number 3 is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA kind of has the same criticism as Devin Booker, which is that he's not an elite defender, but he does have a bigger player build than D-Book, more overall defensive badges, more overall badges in general. So you can add like limitless range and then a movable paint patroller, brick wall, and he has like every single important defensive badge, which is really nice. 91 speed, 89 3-ball, 85 driving dunk, decent defensively. I feel like he plays better defense than Booker does, to be honest. And that's the main reason I have him above Booker. He's also a little bit better as a slasher and just an inside finisher than D-Book. He's standing dunks around the rim really consistently. His movement really isn't bad. I kind of like his dribble style. His escape's good, and his jumper's super fast. I know he doesn't have the fade D-Book has, but I think he's overall a better card. I really like him a lot, and I'm putting him at number 3 at the point guard position. Number 2 is going to be Zach LaVine, who is kind of, again, similar to Booker in terms of having elite jump shot and pretty decent movement, really good drag back. The thing about LaVine is he is top tier as a slasher, and he comes more complete defensively than you would think. A ton of gold defensive badges already, meaning you add brick wall, movable enforcer, paint patroller, and he's got like every single important badge in the game. Add mini marksman, strong handle. He's literally basically perfect. Incredible jumper, 6'5". Dribble style isn't unbelievable, but he's got a good crossover. He's got a great drag back. His jumper is super duper fast. He's unbelievably elite as a slasher. Offensively, he's the best point guard in the game, in my opinion, and defensively, he's really good too. Definitely think he's a top 2 point guard in my team. Number 1 for me is Cade Cunningham. Again, I really do believe that this is a very opinion-based list, so keep that in mind. Depending on what you value at the point guard position, you might have Devin Booker a lot higher. You might even have a guy like Dyson Daniels higher. You might have Drew Holiday higher. You might have Cade lower, like whatever. It's all opinion at the end of the day, especially with these top tier cards. But I'm going Cade at number 1 because Cade's jumper is top tier. His size, he's basically a bigger version of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, in all honesty, to me. In that he doesn't have a great fade, neither does Shai. He's got a really good escape, so does Shai's, except Cade's is even better. Very fast, very smooth jumper, same as Shai, except I actually think I like Cade's more. He's the same athletically as Shai. He's got a bigger player build. Honestly, I feel like he and Shai are super similar cards. I just think Cade's better. I think he's the better version. He moves a little bit smoother for me. Jumper is a little more consistent. Slashing wise, about the same. Defensively, about the same. Like, honestly, like I said, it's a opinion-based business here with these rankings, with how many top tier cards there are. But for me, I think Cade is my number 1 guy right now in my team, and he's super expensive for a reason. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.